want to say is Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. And good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to Dreamland with Sensei Al Bob. And here I am, your sensei, your griot. And I am, I'm a Bob living in my car. And don't believe a word I say. Don't believe anything anybody says. Um, Here it is, 2/14/21. And as I said, between Christmas and New Year's, the year 2021 was going to make the year 2020 look like nothing. It'll be the same as it ever was, whereas 21 is going to be going down in the books, right? And so everything is just a scam. Scamdemic, that's what it is. It's a scandemic. Not to say that the virus isn't real and people aren't getting sick and dying, but people are always getting sick and dying. When I was a youngster, when I first took my first serious course in demographics and statistics in the university, our teacher said, well, kids, I'm going to teach you how to lie with numbers, right? And that's, so it behooves you, all the cadre, to learn to look at what's going on, be able to see through the smog, the fog, the smoke screen, right? And pretty much everybody who's a human being is a human being. And the biggest problem we have is that no one tells you who you are, what you are, where you came from, what it is you are given from the get-go. This kind of scatologic motif, of diaper training, right? And now a lot of you have wanted to know if I could tell the stories of the old crone, and I will. But you have to do something first. Pretty much it has been snowing and raining and just ick since Christmas. Christmas Eve, it started snowing. It snowed Christmas morning. And then around noon, the sun came out and was glorious. I mean, just beautiful. But we had about 10 inches of snow. And it was powdery, so my leaf blower did a great job on it. And then it got and luckily I did, because I made all the paths I needed. And then it got really cold for 2 weeks. I mean, like 8 degrees every day and minus 24 every night. And so that ground, luckily I got the snow out of the way, because that 10 inches of snow turned into one gigantic ice cube. Whereas in the road I live off, from my front door up to the county road is, 5 miles or so. And a couple of them are logging roads. And in the winter, the big problem with those roads are snow, ice, and mud. And they kind of go between each other. And sometimes it's like a layered cake. But right now it's just raining, so I don't have to deal with the ice and the snow. And hopefully Valentine's Day, soon we will have Mardi Gras, and then 40 days of whippings and chains of, what do they call that when they put ash on your head? That's Ash Wednesday. I should know this, seeing that I was a priest in training. Anyway, so the thing I want you to do is I want everyone to visualize sunny, warm days over Sensei Al Bob's head, right? Wherever he is, right? Because I'm on the Bob. And when it becomes sunny, I will start telling all of the stories of the old crone. I mean, all of them. From the very beginning, all told, the whole mystic, fantastic journey. And I will put it wrapped up in a shamanic lollipop. So not only will you enjoy that story, but when you go and into state, you will kind of go, whoa, you'll live it. You'll be there, right? So this is going to be special. This is right now, it's a little advertising. It's like, it's starting to really rain, so I'm going to try and get back to the deep green. But I drove this 40 miles so I could talk to you, right? Because my neighbor is giving up on the ghost, and so once he leaves, I won't be able to use his porch. I won't be able to just walk 2 miles, just leisurely walk 2 miles and take my life in my hands on his steps. Um, but that was kind of amazing. I mean, as Buddy said, it was like worthy of a circus. And I was in a circus and a carnival. And part of the story of the old crone will be the history of the carnival and the circus, because that's kind of where the Druids ran off to. They ran off to, when the Romans, when St. Patrick drove them out of Ireland, they went to the circus, right? So anyway, so that's all this is a little public service message to say, you guys make it sunny over my head, and I will blow your shorts off with the stories of the old crone. And start telling people about my channel so we can get more than 388, because it would be nice not to be, to be on the upper side of the algorithm than under the thumb, right? And part of this whole thing that went down this week with the trial and tribulations of the American people watching, and they didn't even, isn't it interesting how Donnie didn't say a frigging word? And, he wasn't, so he doesn't have his Twitter. He had a lot of ways he could call up Fox and Friends, and he didn't. I mean, this is pretty obviously, gang, this is an orchestrated soap opera, right? And there's Moscow Mitch, the slithering. Doesn't he look like a worm? And his like, you know, plastic skin and all those layers here, and I mean, I have no teeth and I talk pretty good, or I talk well, and but don't believe a word I say. And what you're going to see is they're going to go after a lot of people because, and we're gonna have a new Patriot Act, right? Mark my words, new Patriot Act, which will make it a federal felony. You're going to go to jail for 20 years if you say anything on the street or anything on the internet. Now I tell stories, and don't believe a word I say. None of this is true. And I would go watch Truth Stream Media, excellent, Truly Graceful. These are YouTube channels, and Dark Journalism, and there are a whole bunch of really, really good ones. And I would start, wow, that's really great. And there's this guy, he's a little more bald than I am, and he's better, I don't know, better looking, but he's in Japan, so he's saying interesting things over there. The Cobra Report, I think. And so I would go look at that. And what else? There's two of you now. Hey, good to see you. And how about some thumbs up? And let's see what else. That's about it. But if you make it sunny, I will tell you a story about the old crone, the whole thing. And you will be there. It will be in a shamanic state. And you will learn how to go into state. You will learn through her how to look at your Akashic record and see all of your lives, that are constantly, going on at the same time. And if you go to xratted.blogspot, you will go up and see all my short stories, essays, novels. And I'm working on this thing called Our Legends. Oh, I forgot the word again. It means group of stories. It'll pop into my mind. And but if you just go look for legend, there's two kind of legends, and in the time that I started xratted.blogspot on Blogspot as Griot Publishing, They change the rules all the time. So I used to be able to just stick it up there. Now I have to go and code it. And I'm having to learn things that an old dog like me, almost shouldn't have to. But anyway, so if you go look and find Legend, I mean, I've already got I'm on my 120th version of it. That's what's called editing. And this stupid thing, excuse me, Mr. Chromebook, is very nice, but it first for me to do half of what I want to do editing, I have to be online, it's like I am right now. So, but I'm at the copy of the copy of the copy of the copy, copy to the 10th power, our Legends 7, right? And B or C. And what you'll find is this legend. And what that is what I had been writing and I write every day first on what is known as my clipboard in this thing, which is great because I can go from the clipboard into a new document without having to code it. And so anyway, you'll get the gist of my story. And what it is a story about our hero, who's also a heroine. And in this LGBTQRSTMIC, see you real soon. KY. Why? Because we love you. MOUSE. Well, in this world of that, of being woke, this is, basically a whole story of the woke, right? And that and everything else, all running on the same thing. And there's all these parallel timelines and jumping around and zipping a doo da boo ba ding da dong. So once I get it all done, it's going to be pretty amazing. But even if you go look at the very beginning, you'll see the bare bones of what I'm talking about, right? So hope you like that. Hope you find yourself. And again, I want to thank all those who drop me a little help on PayPal. If you go to the dude awake 42 at Gmail, and that's where my PayPal is, you can drop something in. And a lot of people do. And most are very, 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 whatever they can is really appreciated. No matter what it is, people give me $2 and $3. I love it because it shows, from your heart. I know you don't have, if you're giving me $2 or $3, it's not like, you have some real disposable income. You're like in the same ballpark I am, and you're sharing that with me, and I love you for it. And those who give me a little bit more, which I really love too, I really, really appreciate. There are a couple of you that are very generous. You're all very generous because you're giving what you can. And that's what's important because you're sharing. You're sharing, you're caring, you're being the we and me, and that's what life is about. Your life isn't about you. It's about the we, all our relations in me and you, right? So anyway, so 13 minutes. When it hits 14 minutes and 14 seconds, I'm going to say goodbye. Because this was just a public service announcement, really. And I love you guys. And like I said, focus on really beautiful weather, like in the 50s, sunny, no rain, no snow, no ice, things because it's been wet. I'm like a mushroom. I mean, look at this coat. It's like, shiny because it's absorbing the moisture. It was designed to wick the water out of you, but because there's so much water in the air, it's wicking it into me. And this is my only real good hoodie winter coat. Even being sopping wet, this thing still keeps me warm. It's like some space age alien materials coming from aliens. And what's really interesting, so when it's really like that 2 or 3 weeks when it was 8 degrees outside during the day, it was still pretty nippy in the man cave, And so I was wearing, 3 pants and gloves and while cooking. And I started, I kind of was too close to the fire and my coat caught fire. And I looked down and the fire was coming up towards this. And this blue smoke came out of the coat and put the fire out. I mean, we're talking about some serious alien technology. And I got it at Walmart's, and it was the last one on sale. It had been $38, and this was the last one, and it was $6. $6. Oh, I skipped past 14. So anybody got any questions? I went past that marker, and there's 4 of you there. So there's like 30 of you really watching. So anybody got a question before I go? And I love you all. How about the other guys? Give them a couple of thumbs up there. Anyway, it's all good. I'm having a great time. Um, it's actually things are popping up, and the ginseng, the mushrooms, the other dandelions, bloodroot, all the other herbs that are out there in the big woods with me, the big green, are starting to already come up, which is a good sign. They're happy to see me. They're happy to be here. They know that I protect them. The animals, the little birdies, a few have come back, and they're just so sweet. They sit right on this branch, right by the window where I write, and they sing to me. I feel like Snow White. It's a wonderful day. It's a da da da. You know. So it's all good. There's 2 thumbs up. Love you. What else? That's about it. I'm alive. I'm in pretty healthy shape. Um, I'm happy. I went to my favorite bookstore in Johnson City, about 50 miles from my front door. And it's really a great bookstore because it's, a bookstore of a big college town. And they got a ton of books there. And I have the lady who runs it. She's in her 30s. And she's, in my eye, very attractive, right? I send her my Valentine's love, along with every other human, female, male, you know, Scorpio, Capricorn, whatever. Um, and she makes herself up look like a China doll. So the wall next to her, there's one side is this like fake um, maple cabinet, and on the other side is this white wall. When she got her roller chair against the white wall, she blends in. I mean, she doesn't want to, be bothered or interact. She kind of is on that. But when she's, open, wants to talk to you, she will roll in front of the mahogany fake cabinet, and she really stakes out, right? But I think she's quite attractive, and she's really smart. She got all kinds. I have more degrees than thermometer. Her thermometer goes up higher than mine. So, and she likes me. When I walk in the door, I see her energy level pick up, and I usually come in just around lunchtime, and so she goes and gets her brown bag, and we walk over to the fast food place and get 2 cups of coffee and sit down. And there's nobody in these places anymore, and they've like washing them all the time, so we get to sit over in a corner in the sun and we talk, and we share. She puts an extra sandwich in there just in case I show up, and she shares her brown bag with me, and it's really nice. So she always has books that she thinks I might really like, and she had this set of books that were in a box that she found, and it was great authors between 1740 and 1840 in London. And these are all guys who were basically lawyers and legislators, but they were writers. They wanted to write, but they all were lords and whatever. They came from families with money from Scotland and other lands that England owned, and they had to follow what Daddy said they had to follow, and so. But they would write this stuff as a journal, and they would write about all the stuff that was going on in the court, and all these people were lords and dukes and earls, and were related to the kings and queens, and so they were at the court all the time, and so they were making real. It was like soap operas, but really well written. I mean, as you read my stuff, you realize that Al is on another planet. I mean, I'm trying to get the wavelength here, but do I have to do drugs to really understand what he's talking about? Maybe. I'm not doing drugs writing the stuff, but I am on another planet, whereas these folks were hooked in. So I'm really reading it up, and she charged me 25 cents a book, and each book was hard covered. They were all published in 1950 um, at the University of Princeton. At Princeton, no, Yale. And so it was. So that's what I've been reading. So there's about 40 books she gave me for 25 cents a book. And then, once she was like, she goes, screw it, $4 for everything. That's why I love this lady. She is just my kind of librarian, my kind of girl. Anyway, it's like slogging to Bethlehem. I love so many women in my life, so I don't try to not harassing ain't the word, but try to say, oh, I want to be your boyfriend. No, I am your boyfriend, but your friend who's a boy. But who knows what I really am, right? So, again, go read Legend at xratted.blogspot.com. Anyway, so I love you guys, and it's now 3:30ish. So I'm gonna and it stopped raining, and it doesn't look that foggy. Man, it was foggy when I drove in here. So, ooh, that's the meal I had last week. Yeah. Okay, so I'm out of here. Love you all. Have a great Valentine's Day. I just wanted to wish you all happy Valentine's Day. And anybody wants to get a hold of me, the dude awake at 42 at Gmail, and my PayPal is there if you want to drop anything in it. I love you guys. Again, focus on beautiful sunny days, and I'm going to start. Once that happens, I'm going to just talk about old crone, Celtic, mystic, everything. Okay. And you will think I'm so interesting that I'm Art Bell or Gene Shepard. I'm going to be a mix of Art Bell, Gene Shepard, Barry Farber, and Big Wilson. These are all great radio legends that when I was a young lad, I used to listen at night. And then when I worked in radio in New York City at WBAI with Steve Post and Bob Fast, a couple of those guys were still around. And those guys were good 10 years older than me, maybe even older. And they were in radio and worked at WOR and ABC back in the day when those guys were there. And so we'd go drink at Spike's on 3rd Avenue, which was quite an interesting place. So anyway, love you guys. Happy Valentine's Day. Remember, xratted.blogspot.com. The dude awake 42 at Gmail. And don't believe a word I say. Everything I say is for entertainment's sake. Right? Right. Love you.